My Lord, there is, of course, no question of a change of plea. My client was quite simply overwrought. He's a young man, barely out of his teens, faced with the most serious criminal charges, distressed and frightened. No one has suggested that he's the brash, self-assured type of youngster. On the contrary, he's at that most difficult testing age when he will be exceptional indeed not to feel insecure and deeply sensitive to the kind of vicious criticism to which my learned friend has subjected him.
My Lord, time for speeches is later.
Quite so. Suffice it to say that Vennings is still pleading not guilty, Mr. Fry. Thank you.
If your Lordship will excuse me for one moment. With your Lordship's permission, we had at this point intended to ask for a short adjournment owing to the indisposition of a crucial witness. But it seems that we have at last managed to secure his presence, and so with your permission, I would like to call Epel Gaspard.
Very well.
I swear by Almighty God, that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you.
You are Epel Gaspard of 15 Rue Saint-Jean, Cherbourg?
Yes, sir.
And you are regularly employed as an assistant harbour master in Cherbourg?
Yes, sir.
Monsieur Gaspard, do you know this young man?
Yes, sir. I have seen him with Sunbird CCM in our yacht pool.
In Cherbourg?
Oui, monsieur.
When was this?
The last week, July.
Was he alone on board?
I think... Forgive me, I think Monsieur Vennings had the Mademoiselle Anglaise with him.
Yes, of course, Miss Harley, to whom he's now engaged to be married.
Alors, c'est bien ça.
Monsieur Gaspard, did the Sunbird 6 have engine trouble when in harbour?
There was a fault with the carté.
Gearbox?
Oui, yes, gearbox. 2-3 days with mechanics working, and on the third...
Oh, yes. Before we come on to that, I'd like to ask you what arrangements did Mr. Vennings have when he and Miss Harley wished to go ashore?
Arrangements... the key. Always if they go for a long time, they leave the key with our bureau. And then, of course, we keep open eyes for the people going to his boat.
People?
Well, sometimes stealing. Équipement de navigation, whiskey.
Thank you, monsieur. And did you, in fact, see any other persons visit Sunbird 6 during
the third day, the 28th July. I'm just going for le midi dinner. Yes. I see this man going on board.
You didn't challenge him?
No, he was in... comment on dit bleu de travail?
Overalls?
Ah oui, overalls of mechanic. He carried the grand metal box for tools. Naturellement, I think he is fixing gearbox. Spécialiste, peut-être.
But you had reason later to doubt this?
I see the two mechanics of Monsieur Cormier at La Mer Noire. Bisto, Roumarche. They say they fix already. Finished job.
So then you became suspicious, curious about this strange mechanic?
Peut-être he fixed something else. Peut-être he is a charpentier or electrics man. Eh bien, I said to myself, I will check. I will be sure. But after the dinner, the man, he is gone. And Monsieur Paul is already back with the mademoiselle. They are making no outrage, no fuss. Nothing is stolen, alors I keep it shut.
When did you open it again?
Last month. There's coming the English detective. He asks questions, I remember. I tell how it passes with this man on 28th July.
So this man who went on board, now he was alone?
Oui, monsieur.
And he carried a large toolbox?
So long,
And you're certain it was the Sunbird 6 he boarded and that you saw no one else on board?
Absolument.
Thank you, monsieur.
Monsieur.
Monsieur Gaspard.
Monsieur.
This detective who came to question you last month, was he a policeman?
No, sir. I think detective privé.
A private detective?
Employed by our client's solicitor, my lord, Mr. Wilson.
A private detective employed by the defence? This mechanic of whom you were suspicious, did you mention seeing him to anyone else at that time? One of your colleagues, for instance?
I have said there was no outrage, nothing was stolen. I presume he was as I have thought.
Monsieur, did you mention seeing him to anyone else at that time?
No, monsieur.
No, thank you. A carpenter or an electrician?
With this I have presumed.
So,
The private detective, hired by the defense, turns up last month. You conveniently recall your suspicions. You remembered the mystery man in the overalls with the big box.
Monsieur, my English desires...
No more questions, my lord. Thank you.
Thank you, Monsieur Gaston. The court is indebted to you for coming all this way from your country to give your evidence.
It is nothing, sir. For truth, man goes even to the moon. Huh?
Quite. Well, thank you. You may stand up.
Monsieur.
With your lordship's permission, I should like at this point to recall the witness, Jennifer Alison Harley.
Very well. You will remember you are still under oath, Miss Harley.
Yes.
Miss Harley, I would like to ask you about the activities you went through on the day of 28th July last. Now, would you try to recall them for us as accurately as possible?
Yes. That was the morning we went to Saint-Vaast-le-Haut, a fishing place roughly east of Cherbourg. We caught the early bus back about midday to Cherbourg.
And what time did you get back to the boat?
About 1-ish, 1:30.
Was there anybody working on the boat when you got there?
We half expected them still be there, but they had finished and gone.
By they, who do you mean?
The two engineers who'd been fixing the engine.
And you're absolutely sure there was no one else about?
Absolutely. And then, as I say, we took the boat out for a test run.
Thank you, Miss Harley.
This test run, Miss Harley, how long was it?
About an hour or so.
About an hour or so? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, yes.
You didn't get seasick?
Me?
As you had on the crossing from England.
The crossing? I wasn't seasick on the way across.
Silence in court.
Miss Harley, I'd like you to tell the court why it was that, having motored across with the accused, having lived aboard the Sunbird 6 for 4 days, you decided to fly home and left the accused to make the return journey alone.
We had a row.
Had a row? What about, Miss Harley? Could it have been about the drugs he was planning to smuggle?
No.
Hadn't you found out? Were you not pleading with him?
No.
I must remind you, Miss Harley, you're under oath, committed to the truth.
It was because of the baby.
Silence.
What baby?
We hadn't long realized that I was pregnant. I was uptight as hell about it. I told Paul there was nothing doing, that I'd have to have an abortion. He wouldn't hear of it. Kept saying how right it was and how great, how we'd get married. We argued half the night about it, over and over. And then finally on the 29th, I took off.
Thank you. Excuse me, are you pregnant now? Does that mean yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
No more questions, Mark.
Witness may stand down.
That, my lord, concludes the case for the defence.
My lord, there are further matters I wish to put to the accused, and accordingly I ask for him to be recalled.
Yes, Mr. Elliot. I also like to be sure that all available evidence is before the court.
Of course.
But perhaps you will put your application in the morning. I will decide then.
Court will rise.
Mr. Fry, Paul's gone. I was waiting for him outside and he came out and yelled that he'd had enough. He's run for it, run out on the whole thing.